Welcome to the Week 1 training video put out by the Iowa High School Athletic Association. My name is Monte Tilgner, and I'll be taking you through this video today. We've got 10 plays we're going to look at. These plays were sent in either by coaches or by officials themselves, and plays that we can look at. Some we did well, some that we can improve on, and we just want to work on these trainings to help improve our officials throughout the state. We are not trying to demean any officials or any crews in negative ways if we're talking about something that we need to do better, but just taking it as a learning opportunity. So in this first play, perception means a lot, and the posture by this official with his hands on his hip, just the coach might take that as, do you really want to be here? So just, stand with your hands down at your sides, be attentive, obviously, and just, that appearance goes a long way. So on this play, we're going to talk about these first three plays are going to be punt plays. And, a kick, kicking is where all the weird stuff seems to happen. So the kicking game can screw up otherwise a well-officiated game. So on this one, we're going to talk about mechanics on punt plays. We actually miss two 15-yard penalties that actually occur against the same player on this play. So we missed an illegal low block, and then we missed a clipping against that same player. So let's go ahead and get started and take a look. Let's skip through here a little bit. All right, so first of all, remember mechanically, line judge, you are to release at the snap, and we need you running hard. We want you getting 20, 30 yards downfield if possible. H, as soon as you see that ball hits the foot and is definitely crossing the line of scrimmage, again, you should also be turning and running hard, trying to get at least 20 yards downfield if at all possible. All right, so on this play, again, here's where we should be looking. Remember, our back judge is going to be focused right now only on this return man. There's nothing else he's going to be looking at. Our back judge has to be looking for a fair catch signal. He cannot be looking at anything else, cannot be looking at blocks. He can't look at any blocks until after this return man has caught the ball. That means our line of scrimmage officials, as they're running downfield, need to be looking at blocks by the first one or two players downfield on their side. So in this case, you can see who the arrows are pointing out. And there's our first foul. So let's go back and take a look at that. All right. And this would be by, so we know that on a kick play, no one can go low. All right, so freeze that and go in slow motion here. That is definitely a block below the waist. Okay, so that should be a foul, probably seen by our headline judge at the top of the screen. Could possibly be seen by our umpire, but umpires have the second wave in the middle of the field a little more, so probably going to be seen by our headline judge. And then now, again, the same player gets up, and now we have a runner. Okay, so once we have a runner, our back judge, who should be in the middle of the field and still back a little bit, so back in here, now he can transition. And our back judge might be able to get to this block. Now, this guy just started running with the ball, so our back judge might not be transitioning to it yet. But our headline judge definitely should still be looking at this block. And let's take a look at this block. Okay, that is definitely a block from behind, below. That is at or below the knees from behind. That would be a clip. So we've got two 15-yard fouls. We know we can only force one live ball foul, but we have two fouls that occur, and we don't get either one of those called. So we need to remember, line of scrimmage officials, as you're coming downfield, you need to be watching for those illegal blocks until that return man has turned into a runner, which he has now. Our back judge is not going to be watching blocks. So at this point, our back judge should have slid up a little bit. Feet would be about right here. And now our back judge will be looking at blocks. So what's the block that our back judge should be looking at? Again, we don't need to officiate air. We don't need to see this guy running in space. Back judge, you do not have responsibility for forward progress. So we do not need to see the action between, this runner and this this K player, you should be looking here for a possible block in the back there. Doesn't occur, but that's where your eyes should be. All right, as we continue with this, so that wraps up that play. And again, our forward progress, if these guys get hung up a little bit, back judge, you might get forward progress, but really you don't have that. At the end of this play, we would like our headline judge and our line judge to be coming downfield and be getting our progress on that. So a lot of good things to look at on that play and things we can do better. Okay, this next play is a really interesting one, talking about illegal block in the back or not. Remember, chase mode or not chase mode. I talked about that in a previous training tape. And if they're not in chase mode, then we need all the contact to be square in the middle of the numbers. In this play, we start out, and this is a punt play, but we start out with, and let's take a look at our line judge and headline judge, right? Our line judge now should be starting to go hard, and our headline judge should be going as well at this point. So we need to turn, we need to be going downfield, we need to be watching those players. Okay, so this ball gets muffed by R. Remember, we do not bag the muff, okay, but we are going to bag the end of the kick, which is right there. Okay, so as stated before, we need our line judge and our headline judge to be coming downfield hard. Okay, so as this play continues, we are going to have this block right here, and this block starts legal. And the point is, if a block starts legal and he never loses contact of that block, then that block will continue to be legal even if he ends up pushing him in the back. Okay, so it's not a foul for a block in the back if the block starts legal and he never loses contact. Now, if he starts legal, loses contact, and then blocks in the back, that would be a foul. If he starts legal, continues with contacting that player, and that player turns and the contact ends up in the back, we do not have a foul. So as we continue there, no loss of contact. We do have a push in the back. We definitely have a push in the back, but he never loses contact. Therefore, we should not have a foul for a block in the back. We do. We put a flag down at the 10. We're going to back them up to the 20 instead of, this being a touchdown on this return. So just some things to think about mechanically and philosophy-wise and rules knowledge or judgment-wise for blocking the back. Okay, so there's a couple of pump plays that we can do a little better. This one we did an excellent job. And just watch this one. First of all, let's watch our line judge. Immediately at the snap, he goes hard downfield. Our line judge, or our headline judge at the top, doesn't go as hard, but he's got players who are kind of slowly going and engaged. So he watches those players, as I'll illustrate here. And just really great mechanics and judgment for a possible offensive hold on the return, or by the return team, I should say, and a possible block in the back by the return team. So let's go ahead and start this one. Go a little faster here. Okay, so here's our snap. And watch immediately. Here's our line judge. And he's going hard downfield. Good. And now we've got the ball just got caught. So again, our back judge should be 5 to 7 yards deeper and 5 to 7 yards to the middle of the field of this. And you can see in just a minute when I go forward, he's in perfect position at the end of this. Our line judge, our headline judge at the top of the screen is watching this action right here. And if I go forward, we're going to see these two players. So let's look at this part first. So you can see by looking at the head of our headline judge here, he's looking right at that action. And what you're going to see is the K player takes down the R player. This is not a foul, and it's great judgment, great rules knowledge, and understanding that that's not a hold if K takes down R. it would be a hold if R takes down K. Really what he's trying to do, he's trying to get that guy off of him. The guy's blocking him. He's trying to get him off him by throwing him down. So that is not a foul. Now, our back judge, as you can see, was in perfect position. So he's right where he should have been. The ball was caught right here. So he's now, as this return is coming, he's now coming up, and you can see he's got his bag in his hand. He just drops that bag right at that spot, which is perfect. Bag just dropped, okay? And now we continue to officiate, and now our back judge should be looking right here. Remember, he does not have responsibility for this runner. So our back judge is looking for blocks, and this guy right here has a brick in his hand for potential blindside block. Our umpire might be able to see through and see that as well. This official, remember, does have forward progress, and he does have the action of this defender trying to make a tackle. So he's got to watch to see, is there a face mask or something like that that occurs, and he's got the forward progress. So as we continue here, you're going to see we got a little bump there, okay? So let's go back and take a look at that. I put that in slow motion. What we need to do is we need to decide if this is forcible, because if it's forcible, we have a blindside block. If it's not forcible, then we have a blindside block that is not a foul. So this is definitely not it's definitely with the shoulder, but it's more of a bump. If I go back and go to regular speed now, take a look. Okay, that's not deemed to be forcible enough. I agree with that. So it was seen by our back judge, deemed to be not forcible. Thus, we have a legal blindside block. Remember, we can have blindside blocks that are legal. If they're not forcible, is one way it can be legal. Also, it could be forcible, but with open hands and a push. We could still have forcible contact, open hands, and a push. That would be legal. If we have forcible and it's not with open hands and a push, then we have an illegal blindside block. But very good job by this crew on judgment and mechanics. All right, next play. So we've got a punt that's muffed by R, and it's recovered in the end zone by K. So what do we have on this, and how do we handle this? So right now, hopefully you're thinking, well, a kick is a kick is a kick. So if that kick ends up breaking the plane of the goal line, we've got a touchback, and that's exactly what we have on this. All right, but it was a little chaotic with the crew. They did a good job for most parts of it. I love the position right here. If I go back just a little bit, you can see that's exactly where we want our back judge to be. Right there. Perfect position by our back judge on a deep kick. Okay, as we continue, this ball gets muffed. So our back judge now is retreating to the goal line, which he should be continue to go to that goal line. Okay, that's the only thing that matters right now. After this muff, remember, we do not beanbag a muff. Okay, we only beanbag the end of the kick by R. We would also beanbag an illegal touching. First touching by Team K, but we do not have anything to beanbag right now. So right now we want to be getting back to that goal line. We do see the ball break the goal line. Be good if our back judge was on that goal line. Be a little better, easier judgment, I should say. And the ball's recovered, and Team K thinks that they have a touchdown. So a little breakdown in communication, but eventually, when all got said and done, we ended up with the touchback, which is correct. So just remember, communication-wise, as we're talking to our referee, talk not in terms of black team, white team for jerseys, or the name of the schools. Talk in terms of K and R. So as a back judge, you just talk to your referee and say the ball was muffed by R. The ball continued and broke the plane of the goal line, then was recovered by K. But by rule, when the ball breaks the plane of the goal line, we have a touchback. And this is one, you're going to have to explain this to a coach. If you have a field mic, just make that announcement. And then everybody understands why it's not a touchdown. Okay? If you don't have a field mic, then you're definitely going to have to explain this to Team K, Team K's coach, because he might not, probably not going to understand, why he's not getting a touchdown in this play. But a little bit of breakdown communication-wise, but eventually they did get it right. And this is exactly what we need, is this crew sent this in and said, hey, we end up getting it right, but, could we have handled it better, and how could we have handled it better? And that's what we wanted to discuss. So, okay, a couple plays on hits on receivers or runners. So this hit here is a legal hit because he's wrapping up. All right, so we've got a, this is just showing we got a pass in the air. And again, if that pass is not a foot off the ground to be caught, we don't need to see if he, we don't need to watch that receiver catching the ball. We need to see the angle or the attack of a player coming the opposite direction. This is the player who could deliver that illegal block to that defenseless receiver. Okay, so as we continue here, you can see we've got a good hard hit there. So now if I go back and go in some slow motion so we can see it better, he goes down. He does end up hitting the receiver maybe a little high, but he's wrapping up, and that's why we do not have a foul. All right, so good judgment by the crew on this. But again, we need to be looking ahead. And who should see this? When that ball's in the air, we should have, sets of eyes by our back judge for sure. And back judges more than anybody, you're not responsible for that catch, no catch at all. So back judges, you can really help by picking out this guy who could foul. Umpires, remember, as soon as that ball's in the air, we want you to pivot and we want you to help on catch, no catch. So let's watch our umpire. A great job by our umpire of turning and helping out on a possible catch, no catch. He might be able to help out on a possible foul or not as well. But good judgment by the crew, good mechanics by the crew on this play. And nice judgment because we have a hard hit, but we do not have an illegal personal foul, an unnecessary roughness personal foul against this receiver because it was a wrap-up hit, wrap-up tackle. Okay, now on this one, we need to judge if this is still a receiver or if he has completed the catch and is turned into a runner. That's the whole key to this. This one is big enough that it would be unnecessary roughness, personal foul, if this is still a receiver completing or attempting to complete the catch. If he's completed that catch and has made a football move and is now a runner, then even though we have a hard hit, this would not be a foul. So let's take a look. Okay, so again, I stop it right here. This player right here, there's no way that he is going to be, he's going the same direction. If he was coming straight this way, he could potentially have an unnecessary roughness foul, but he's kind of going the same direction as that receiver. So that being the case, he's not going to be able to have enough forcible contact to make that, a foul. This guy is the one that we need to be looking at, all right? Because he's coming at a different angle, and he could be the one who would apply that foul, possibly. So let's take a look. Let's go in slow motion. And we got to determine if he's a receiver or if he's a receiver completing the catch or a runner. Now, until he turns into a runner, he's defenseless. Now, we can't really worry about catch, steps and so on. We got to look at timing. And here's the thing. When in doubt, he's still defenseless. So I would say that this receiver would still be defenseless and not be a runner yet. You could possibly make an argument that he makes this catch and he braces for the contact. And if you feel that that was the case and you saw it well, then, you were in position, you made a judgment, and that's fine. But that's what we need to think about on this play. So going back a little bit, looking at our mechanics of our officials here, you've got our wing who, remember, we need to make sure we're looking downfield. Looks like he is. Get settled in there, good. So good job, I think, by that crew mechanically. All right, next one we've got, this is just really good rules knowledge by this back judge. So we know that we need all team K players in front of the 35-yard line. And we've got a player here who not only is behind it, and he's not the kicker, this is our kicker, but he actually loops behind it more. And so just really good rules knowledge, knowing, one, that's a foul, and two, that this is a dead ball foul. So we've already got our flag high in the air. We've got our whistle going, and we do a good enough job of shutting this down that we don't have any contact between K and R players. That's what we want on this. Since this is a dead ball, okay, once he kicks this, we have a dead ball, and we want to shut it down quick enough that we don't have a bunch of collisions going on that are unnecessary. So excellent job by our back judge here. Good rules knowledge right now. He's getting on his 020, and from 45 yards away, he's letting our referee know, we've got what our foul is, and that what our penalty enforcement's going to be, and we're going to end up re-kicking this. So excellent job by the crew. All right, this play here is talking about intentional grounding, and so we need to know where our free blocking zone is, and referees, you need to know where the edge of that free blocking zone is to help rule on intentional grounding. Remember, if in doubt, they're out of the free blocking zone, okay? So we need to know where that is, and this is just an illustration of where it is. A couple things on this play. First of all, he definitely right now is out, okay? So we can kind of take a look where those lines are again, and he definitely gets, right about now, he's outside of it, definitely gets outside of it. So once he gets outside, okay, as we look at this part right here, passer got outside the free blocking zone, and even if he comes back in, it doesn't matter. Once you're out, you're out. So he got outside, the ball got back to the line of scrimmage, okay, ball's right here, got back to the line of scrimmage, so we have no foul for intentional grounding. Remember, once he's out, he's out. And now let's take a look over here at this comment. Referees, mechanically, you are to set up just outside of the tight end on the throwing side of the quarterback, always. Okay, this referee set up on the left side of a right-handed quarterback because the ball was snapped from the right hash. Okay, that is incorrect mechanic. We still will be to the right of the quarterback out at that tight end. So, oops, sorry, let me get rid of that. If we go back here to this play, our tight end would be located right here. So referee, we would want you this wide, and you're going to be about, usually we go about 12 to 14 yards back from the snap, but you're going to be on the right side of this quarterback. So you're going to be back here at about 12, 14 yards, looking in at this angle, all right, if he's a right-handed quarterback. So don't go by the position where they are on the field. You go on their throwing shoulder, all right? Okay, so we've covered that play. Oh, this is a really interesting play. So we got an end and a half situation, and this is a two-play vignette, as they would say on our college CFO training tapes. End and a half situation, and you've got a team that catches the pass, and they are just got the first down in bounds. Okay, so we're killing the clock, down in bounds, first down. We're going to move the chains. So here's the next play. Oops, sorry, let me go back. Here's the problem. So we have the quarterback who snapped the ball already, and the referee had not yet wound the clock. The defender that I have circled there, number 54, I don't know why they subbed, because bad time to sub. And we don't have sub mechanics. They don't have to give them time to match up like in college and high school. They do not. So we've got 12th player on the field, and this ball was already snapped and spiked. So we have a legal play by our offensive team. We've got 12 men on defense. This is not an illegal participation foul. He's trying to run off, just didn't get off. So we have 12 on the field. We have an illegal substitution foul by the defense. That's to be a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. And we're still going to have first down. Okay. So how do we handle this mechanically? Because it was a little chaotic from the crew. And again, I credit the crew for sending me a message about this and saying, hey, we had this play. It was kind of chaos. I don't think we handled it right. I think it'd be a good one for the training tape. So how you handle this, first of all, referees, you should talk to your quarterbacks before the game and introduce yourself, tell them you're going to protect them throughout the game. You'll say balls away and so on. But you're also going to talk to them about just a situation like this. If you're in a hurry up, if we've got a first down, we got to get the ball spotted, and we need our umpire to be able to get out of the way. And after that happens, you can snap the ball. I will not be blowing my whistle, because if you blow your whistle in this situation, saying the ball's ready, you're going to have linemen that might move. And now what do you got? You got false start, or, what do you do now? So you don't blow your whistle. All you do is you wind the clock. So mechanically what you do is you've told your quarterback already, and you just remind him, say, hey, wait till the umpire clears, and then you can snap the ball. So as soon as the umpire clears, as a referee, you start winding the clock, and this quarterback at about the same time is going to snap it, and he's going to spike it. So what happens if right before you wind it, he snaps it? Well, if that's the case, you know it's going to happen anyway. So just quickly wind it. Excuse me. Quickly wind it so we get 1 second to come off the clock, and all's good. All right. So if we do that in this play, then we're going to have an illegal substitution by the defense. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. We're going to go from the 44-yard line to the 39-yard line, and it's going to be first down still. Okay. Now, a couple things. You can see the box is in position. That's all we need. We need the box to be in position, and we need our officials to be in position. We do not need the back stake and the front stake of the of our stakes to be in position. We just need the box man to be there. And he was there. Our umpire was able to clear. So that's how we can handle this situation where they can be in a hurry up and they can clock it legally, and we can officiate this play. So let's move on to nope, that was our last play. So again, officials, please send in plays that are challenging like this, and plays that we do a great job that we can point out. And a lot of times it's going to be plays that we didn't handle very well, or mechanically we need to do a better job on. Punt, anytime we have kick plays, anytime we have change of possession, interception, fumbles, stuff like that, that's when we have to be really on a high alert for blindside blocks, because that's when those happen. We are missing a lot of holds and blocking the backs on punt plays. Again, remember, line of scrimmage officials, you need to be hustling downfield, and line of scrimmage officials, you need to be calling those fouls. You might be throwing your flag a long ways, but you're the one who's going to have it, because our back judge won't. So, all right, kept it just under 30 minutes. Some good plays to look at. Hopefully we can continue to improve, and we will talk to you again next week.